Hmm. So I've had many intended audiences in mind since I first started. And there are some obvious audiences, like people that are interested in African American art, and people who have family members who are artists, and people who are themselves artists. Then there's also people who are interested in mental health and its connection to creativity and art. But after all is said and done, I think the audience is people who are using art to access knowledge that cannot be gotten through intellect alone. I think that the project is important for a number of reasons. Every person, no matter who they are or what background they come from, has a shared struggle of trying to figure out their place in life. So whether you're born into tremendous wealth or you're born into poverty or any place on the planet that you're born, I think that every person is looking for the place that they belong in terms of their contributions, a place where they can be nourished and also contribute. So that's professionally, that's within family, in any really realm of endeavor. For artists, particularly in our culture, that's a hard nut to crack for any artist of any background. For African American artists, again, very difficult. So now we have that on top of being an artist, being an African American artist. And for painters and sculptors in particular, it's an extremely challenging place to be. So I think that it's important because all these things that I've mentioned are just, I think of them like the garb that a person appears in, right? You're black, you're an artist, or you live here, or you live there, but underneath it all is that universal quest to find the place that you belong and to be acknowledged there, to contribute, to have your contributions accepted, and also to learn and to grow. So if we can understand what's going on with black visual artists, I think that we will be able to understand something about ourselves, no matter who we are. I learned, and this shouldn't be a surprise, but it is, I learned that I'm also an artist. I didn't come into this project thinking of myself as an artist. I came into the project thinking of it as me resolving different issues in my life, or me writing something that I wanted to read that I couldn't find anywhere. And as I've been on this journey, I have discovered that I'm an artist. And there's a lot of facets to that, and it was something that I wasn't expecting to do. I was thinking of myself writing about people who are artists, not as an artist myself. Reading is very pleasurable, and I maybe could have stayed a reader for my life and just talked about books with people. I came to writing very late in life, well, very, later than many. And again, writing because I had reactions and responses and ideas that I didn't see in writing, and I found out that it's, criticizing is very easy. To be a critic is one thing, to do something is another kind of challenge. I have enormous respect for writers that I didn't think about writing that way in the past. It was either good, it wasn't good, here's what I liked, here's what I didn't like. But trying to do something yourself is completely different. So this residency has been unspeakably important to me. It's my third residency. I went to my first residency a year ago. And I went to McDowell Colony, which is a fantastic place that I would recommend to anyone. It's an amazing place. It's got a long and storied history. And after that, I went to Hedgebrook, another incredible place. McDowell is for artists of all genres, and Hedgebrook is for women writers. And I would highly recommend those residencies to any artist that qualifies for them. But the Barbara Smith residency really awakened within me something completely different. Number one, I'm being hosted by Black artists. I'm in a space that was prepared for Black artists. And I'm part of a vision that is very singular in terms of, as far as I can tell, people who have these ideas and are carrying them out. And it's specific to me. It's not you are one of a cohort, but you are considered individually and specifically, and that's very rare and very important. And people care, and they care about you not as a matter of the brand. They care about the work, deeply about the work. So it's been tremendously meaningful to me to be here. particularly given the subjects that I'm writing about. Being asked to come in the midst of a pandemic. Arriving in the midst of a pandemic. Having accommodations made, being able to do it. I mean, I was, without going into, it was supposed to, we all have our, it was supposed to be this, it was supposed to be that stories, right? But our state and probably Ohio too closed on the day I was going to arrive, and to have the leadership here reach out to me while I was at home and number one say, we would still like to give you your stipend, whether we can host you or not. That was tremendous. And also for them to call back and say, what are your needs? What can we do? We know that you're not here, this, that, what can we do? And when I told them that really the only thing that would be helpful to me would be to go away somewhere, and I was thinking about how can I possibly do that. I have 2 small children, and I live with 2 elders as well as my husband working from home. I mean, the usual scenario that we're all in now. Mine to a high degree. So having it happen in the midst of all of these things was just tremendous to me. I want to tell them that it's essential, that it's a window into the future, that we will look back and say, oh my gosh, look, it was happening here, this kind of thing was happening here, because it is new. And I don't mean just the Barbara Smith residency, the entire program, the model that has been created at 12 Arts. I have not seen a model like that before at all. I want to tell them to support it. I want to tell them to apply for it. I want to tell them to look out for it wherever they see it, and whenever they see it, to understand that this is something different. Final thoughts. There's a scripture that was very special to my dad. It comes from the Baha'i faith, and I would like to recite it. It's very short. And the reason I'd like to recite it is because it's the feeling that I get at 12 Arts. And the scripture says, O Son of Spirit, my first counsel is this: possess a pure, kindly, and radiant heart, that thine may be a sovereignty, ancient, imperishable,